Welcome children to your English lecture. Today we are going to do snapshots and the chapter we are going to do is the third chapter, that is Ranga's marriage. Now Ranga's marriage is written by whom? Masti Venkatesha Iyengar. Okay, he was such a writer who wrote in Kannada language, and because of which he became very popular, and that's why he was awarded the Gyanpith Award. You must have heard of Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, so many awards you have heard of. But here, because of literature, this is the highest literary award that was given in India, and Venkatesha was awarded this award, and it was what? Gyanpith Award, right? So this is a bit description about the writer. Now, if I tell about the story, what is the story? Normally, you must have understood going with the name, that is the title of the chapter, that we are going to talk about some marriage. Whose marriage is it? It is Ranga's marriage. Very true. Okay, but then the story explaining about marriage or talking about Ranga's marriage, in between, the writer has brought before us what? He shows that the story is centered around, or it moves around what? Two things, that is tradition and modernity. Traditional beliefs, blind faith in certain things and so on, and how there's a difference in the modern world also, how things are changed, those old beliefs, those old thoughts, how these days in modern world is considered to be absurd. Okay, now here in case of Ranga also we see there's a conflict, there's a dilemma in his mind regarding what? Regarding his belief about marriage. This is what the story is around. Now let's see the story. I'll go with the introduction, and line by line explanation I'll go with it. Ranga, the accountant's son, is one of the rare breed among the village folk who has been to the city to pursue his studies. Okay, so who is Ranga? He is the son of an accountant, and rare breed, hardly anyone is there, or hardly anyone has gone to the city. He stays in a village, and hardly anyone in that village had gone outside to study. But who had taken the daring? The accountant. He has taken the daring, he has shown his courage, and then he has sent his son to study to go to Bangalore, that is in the city, and achieve his studies. When he returns after 6 months or so, his study gets over and he returns back. When he returns back, the whole village is very curious to know, curious to see what changes have come in him, because people have that attitude that whosoever goes to the village, to the city, their drastic change comes. They forget all the rules and regulations, all the traditional things and all, and they change. So people are very eager to see what change has come in Ranga. That is why when Ranga came after his completion of his studies, people were gathered around his house. There was a huge crowd, and they wanted to know what the change has come. His ideas about marriage are now quite different, or are they? People have come to know how his ideas have changed, and because the title is Ranga's marriage, so they were also eager to know that what his ideas regarding marriage, how they are and how they have changed. This is what the introduction. Now this is in the introductory section. After that, as the story starts, the narrator is talking to us, or dealing with little bits wayward from the subject or what the title he has given. Let's see what he says. When you say this title, some of you may ask. He's saying the title what he has given, that is Ranga's marriage. He said, before when I gave this title, I felt that so many questions would have arose in many readers' mind, and many who must have suggested that why did you give this title and why not Ranganatha Vivaha or Ranganatha Vijaya. This is, well, yes, I know I could have used some other mouth-filling one like Jagannatha Vijaya or Girija Kalyana. He's saying that, yeah, I would have done that. And he gives a reference of few other titles and he's saying that I would have given, but then he has not done it. Why he is saying that? But then this is not about Jagannatha's victory or Girija's wedding. He's saying I have not given. He gives a proof that why he has not given such title, because it is not about someone else. It is not about Jagannatha's victory or Girija's marriage or wedding and so on. He wanted to talk about Ranga's marriage. That is why he has given the title. That's how he proved. And this shows that, so hence no fancy title. He has not taken any fancy title. He has stuck to the story what he wanted to deal throughout the chapter, and that is why he has given the title. This again shows his closeness or intimacy towards, or his feelings towards Ranga. It is about our own Ranga's marriage. See the word he is using? Okay, and hence no fancy title. Hosahali is our village. Where the Ranga stays in a village named Hosahali. You must have heard of it. Here also this shows, this line shows that the writer's closeness or the attachment to his own village. So he's saying, Hosahali, you must have been knowing the village, you know the village. But no, what a pity. Then he himself answers, because he knew hardly people know about his village. So he's saying, and then he gives the conclusion also, that doesn't matter, it's none of your fault. And what he's saying, that how can you know about my village? Because it is not mentioned in any geography book. And those sahibs, those in the English period, English people were hardly, sahibs are English people, they were hardly bothered. They did not write anything in their books or anywhere, or did refer about the village. Our own people, then he's saying that why should I blame others? Even our own people are not bothered, or they have forgotten it. You know how it is? They are like a flock of sheep. And then he gets irritated, and his irritating attitude is focused over here. And then he says that those people, my own people, they have forgotten it. And how he cursed those people. What does he say? That those people are how? They are like flock of sheep. And one sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow. They don't use their own brain or their power of understanding. What do? They are like a group of or flock of sheep. You have heard the saying that when a person is not aware of anything going around him and all, then people say he is like a flock of sheep. That means that sheep, the whole flock or the whole crowd follows the sheep who is at the initial level, or who is ahead of the others. And wherever it goes, the others follow without looking here and there. And if that initial or the first one who is there in the row, he falls in the pit, the pits of ship also will fall in the pit. So that is why this saying that this narrator is saying that my people are like how? They are like flock of sheep. Whatever the other do, they also carry forward the same thing. When both the sahibs in England are our own geographers had not referred to it, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map. Say one who writes the map and see. He's saying when these people have not done anything, how can you blame the cartographer that he has not mentioned it in the map? And this is how he shows his sorrow or his sad feelings, that he's in Hosali, even though he is very close to the village, it is not mentioned anywhere and hardly people know about it. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. Then all of a sudden he realizes that he has diverted from the fact or what the story he wanted to talk about in this chapter. So he apologizes to the readers and saying, if the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsha what the sweet Kariga Dabu is, a sweet made from coconut and jaggery. So he's saying that if the state, the Mysore, is as important to Bharatvarsha, similar land he is comparing that the state of Mysore is very important to Bharatvarsha, and it is as important as Kariga Dabbu, the sweet dish in the festival, how it is put forth, or it is a special dish made during a festival. Then Hosahali is to Mysore, and if it is so, then Hosahali is also important to Mysore, like this sweet dish Kariga Dabbu, or the Mysore as it is to Bharatvarsha. That is how he is comparing and highlighting the importance of his village. What the feeling is to Karigadabu. What I have said is absolutely true. And then he convinces the reader. I don't think I'm just for the sake of saying I'm saying. Okay, I really mean it, and whatever I'm saying is really fact. I'll not object to questioning it, but I'll stick to my opinion. He says you are free. Any reader is free to question anything. Okay, then he doesn't. He will not object. But at the same time, he says that he will stick to his opinion. What is his opinion? That yes, Hosali also is a very important place like other or like the Swedish. I'm not the only one. Then he, to defend himself, what he's saying, that it is not my own opinion. And then he refers home Gunda Bhatta, another doctor, he saying, if you ask him also, he will say the same thing. And if you ask him whether he has gone to England or so on, because he moves on to so many places, okay, he will deny. He say, what will he say? No Anaya. Anaya is when you talk to someone or addressing someone in a respectful manner, this word is used in Kannada language. So he's saying, he would say no. And then I have left that to you. He said that it is you go along these places, foreign countries and all, running about like a flea-pestered dog. Okay, dogs today here, tomorrow there. So he's saying a dog is free to move anywhere. So you move like it, I will not do. And as a matter of fact, he has seen many. He has seen so many places. That is why still he would say such words. We have some, then he gives he describes his village. And what is he saying? That his village, in his village there are so many mango trees. And then he highlights the importance of the mango tree also, or the mangoes. He is saying that once he is, come visit us and I will give you a raw mango for one of them. And they say, he invites the readers that you come once and have this mango. And what is he saying? He refers to the incident what happened with him, and that is what he's saying, that once it happened, he had heard that these mangoes are very famous in his place, and so he had heard about that its sourness is really reaches to the extreme, and if someone has this or take a bite of it, then it's so sour that it even reaches to the skull of a person. Okay, and what this is the word he is using, Brahma Randhra. And the meaning over here, you see, Brahma Randhra, what is it? The head or the skull it reaches, means you can experience the sourness in the whole body. I took one such, and he expresses his in one incident where he also took once a few mangoes, made the chutney, and the whole family had it. And what happened is that they had some cold and cough problem. And when they went to the doctor, that was the moment the doctor told them about the special quality of the mangoes. Then he is saying not only mangoes are special, he is saying what is that? Certain creepers which grow around the pond, they are also famous in my village, that is Hosahali. And what he is saying, that anyone who goes to the pond for bath, while returning back, they will get this leaves of these creepers, and then the afternoon meal they will have in this leaves. You would be wondering that how can one have food in the leaves and so on. But as per the South Indian custom, and as the name you have seen the writer's name, you must have understood that he is from southern part of India. So as per their tradition, normally they have most of the cases they have food or meal in the banana leaves. Okay, so here that is also seen that he mentions that the creeper which goes next to the pond, that leaf is used to have meal. And then these all things he describes. And then I am rambling. It is always like that when the subject or village comes up. And then he feels that the reader would get bored, and so he is saying that I cannot help out, because when the subject or when I start talking about the village, I forget everything. And then he stops there and says that rest of the thing he is not going to describe, and he invites the readers that either if anyone is interested in visiting his village Hosahali, they can drop a note, and then he will accept it, and he will show them the whole village. That is how he was showing his interest or his attachment towards the village Hosahali. What am I going to tell you is something that happened now. He is moving to the main subject, And he's saying, what today I am going to tell you is, it happened 10 years ago. We did not have many people who knew English. Who? In the village, hardly any people were there who knew English. And it happened that the village accountant, okay, took the daring, or he took the initiative, and he had sent his son to Bangalore for higher studies. It is different now. Those days, 10 years back, it was really surprising for each and everyone when you send your child to study abroad or outside the village. But these days, it's very normal. So there are many who know English. During the holidays, you come across them on every street. Okay, English these days is a very normal thing, but those days in the village or outside the village, hardly they could listen. Very few people talking in English and so on. Those days we did not speak in English. These days, every nook and corner you find people speaking in English. But in those days, in the village, you would hardly see, nor did we bring in English words while talking in Kannada. Okay, they were very purely talking in the Kannada language, and hardly any word were there. Here, hardly anyone is able to speak in any language fluently. Everyone, whenever there is a conversation between anyone, so many languages interrupts. You talk in Hindi, English words come in. You talk in English, Hindi words come in. So he's saying, but those days it was not so. They were purely talking in the Kannada language. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. And what the step which was taken really was shameful. The other day, and then he shares one incident that once it happened, he was in Ramara's house and a lady came with a firewood. Okay, this thing. And then the son of Ramarao came out and he said that was to give the payment. So what did he say? That he doesn't have a change. So this lady did not understand the meaning. Hardly it was costing 4 pies. And then the lady did not understand the meaning of this word change. So what did he do? She started muttering. Muttering means grumbling to herself, and she left off. Even the narrator also was not knowing the meaning of this word. So when he went to Ranga's house, he asked him, and he came to know what it meant. This priceless commodity, the English language, was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. The English was not so abundantly used in the village those days. And that was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. When Ranga came home after his studies from Bangalore, really it was an event in the whole village. What happened? People, when they came to know that Ranga has come back, each and every person in the village gathered around Ranga's house. Okay, and the narrator saw that the whole crowd was there before his house. So he also went to see what was the reason, and going there, he happened to tell the one of the boy. He is saying, what is saying? The boy who has gone to Bangalore for his studies is here. It seems come, Ranga is here, and let's go and have a look. Attracted by the crowd, the narrator was attracted by the crowd. So he also went and stood there near the courtyard. And then the people who were gathered, he is asking that, what is the reason why you people are gathered over here? Is any monkey performing? Any show going on? Monkey show. Because those days in the village, no such movies or cinema theater, cinema halls or things were there. Okay, so small puppet shows or monkey playing here and there, performing. These are the things which will only entertain the people. So he's saying, why people are gathered? Is any monkey performing here? Then one of the a boy, a fellow without any brain, said loud enough for everyone to hear. And he said in such a loud voice so that everyone could hear. When he was saying so, one of the boy there also shouted back, and he's saying, then if you think that monkey show is not going on, then what are you here for? Why have you come if it is not so? Then you are also one of the person who is immature, and you do not have any manners. Seeing so many people there, and when Ranga was inside the house, he came to know so many people are there standing outside. So he came out, and then had we all gone inside, what is he saying? And then Ranga gave a smile to them. There, writer is saying that so huge the crowd was that had they entered into Ranga's house, then it would have been like a black hole of Calcutta, a congested place. Hardly anyone would be all would be squeezed inside, and hardly any space would be there for so big a crowd to be accumulated in Ranga's house. So everyone did not go. That was good enough. Everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had been 6 months ago. And everyone was curiously looking at Ranga. And what did they see? That Ranga was the same as he left 6 months ago. And as usual, he was there in the village, same, no change is seen. And what happened? As everyone was watching Ranga minutely, an old lady was standing next to Ranga. So what did she do? She went and started checking his chest and so on. And after a while, what did she say? No, it is there. Janivara is still there. Janivara is a sacred thread normally Brahmins put on around their chest. So he's saying she examined whether it is there or not. Saying no, it is there. He has not lost his caste, means he has not thrown away the Janivara. And then she went away, and Ranga started laughing. Once they realized that Ranga still had the same hands, they were minutely observing his hands, legs, nose, everything. When they were sure that no, there is no change in Ranga, the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in chalza. When you put sugar in your mouth, what happens? Slowly and gradually it melts. So similarly, he is saying that as the crowd was now convinced that no change is seen in Ranga, slowly and gradually the crowd dispersed. Melted means disturbed. Everyone went back. This is it. And then when that was the moment when the narrator got the chance to see Ranga, or Ranga saw the narrator, and immediately the narrator is asking, Rangappa, how do you do? And then it was only then Ranga noticed me. He came near me and did a namaskara respectfully, saying, I am all right with your blessing. When what did in return Rangappa do, or Ranga do? He in the form of a respectful manner, giving a namaskara, he said that he was all right due to his blessings. I must draw your attention to this aspect of Ranga's character. We are told that the narrator is very fond of Ranga. His intimacy is seen in every angle when he is describing Ranga. So here also he says that no, I'll not leave the things aside. Here I want to say something regarding Ranga's character. What is he saying? He knew when it would be to his advantage to talk to someone and rightly assessed people's worth. He is saying that he knew when to talk, how to talk with people, okay, and how to assess the people. And then he is saying that the way he did the namaskara, was totally different from these days boys. What is he saying? That these days the boys hardly bend down. They look at the sun, or the head will be towards the sun. Half they will bend. They will stand like a wand or a walking stick. Wand is a stick. Okay, and they will sometimes will they fold their hands, or else they will not touch the feet, just bend down. But here Ranga did not do so. What did he do? In a proper manner, he bent down and touched the feet, and then he said that his blessings are always there to the narrator, and that is why he is safe and sound. I said blessing him. Who is this? The narrator liked the way he behaved, and so he blessed him, and he said, yeah, may you get married soon. And after exchanging a few pleasantries, I left. They had a little bit chat, pleasantries, discussed something, and then the narrator went off. Then what happened? That particular afternoon, the narrator was resting in his house, and Ranga turned up with some oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. It would be a fine thing we have him married. When the narrator saw, he saw that how generous, how considerate Ranga is, and he always found goodness only in Ranga. So he said that such a good person he is, and he wished that he should get a proper match, he should get married, and that would be really a service to the society. Means if the narrator is in a condition to help, he will do everything to help and get a good match for Ranga. For a while, they talked. As Ranga came, they they talked about certain things, and then immediately the narrator asked Ranga straight away, Rangappa, when do you plan to get married? He's asking that, when do you plan to get married? And what reply did Rangappa give? I am not going to get married now. He said, at present I have no intention in getting married. So this man who had so many hopes regarding Ranga's marriage, he questioned him, why not? Okay, now you be in a let me keep this thing as a suspense, and in our next lecture I'll continue with it, that let's see why Ranga doesn't want to get married, or when will he get married. Thank you for watching the video. Have a nice day.